All right. Well, hey, thanks everyone again for joining. We're going to be covering SpearMC's managed services offering and how to modernize PeopleSoft. Let me go ahead and advance to the next slide. In terms of our agenda for today, we're going to start off with introductions, and SpearMC. We wanted to kind of set the context with some of the challenges that a lot of our clients are facing, both in the IT and business realms. Then we'll go into kind of the core of our managed services offering. And then we wanted to revisit those challenges and talk a little bit how managed services can address some of the challenges that a lot of our clients are facing. Wanted to talk about a few differentiators for SpearMC related to managed services, and then cover a case study and some of the benefits that our clients have realized. And then last, we'll have hopefully some time at the end for Q&A, but feel free to ask questions as we move along. If we have time, we'll cover them. If not, you can post them in the chat. Our moderator, Susan, will mention those. If we're running short on time, we may just hold on to those answering and then get back to you after the session. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. So my name is Tom Tretter. I'm a vice president with SpearMC. My focus has been throughout my career mostly consulting. I've worked in the industry as well, and for a technology company. But pretty much most of my career, I've worked on business transformation projects involving multiple functional areas. From a PeopleSoft pillar perspective, usually HCM, FSCM, analytics, EPM, kind of broader transformation projects. I'm based in Southern California in Laguna Hills. And I'll turn it over to Joe, my counterpart.
Hi. Yep. My name's Joe Finlinson, and I am the newest member of the SpearMC team. I am a managing director with Spear. And my career focus has largely been on technology optimization. And I came to consulting after a 20-year career in being a customer, being an employee. So I have a lot of experience with understanding how this stuff works, not just from the perspective of providing managed services, but also as consuming managed services. And I live with my family in Salt Lake City, Utah, and it's a pleasure to be with you today.
All right, thank you, Joe. And I'm going off camera just so we can eliminate any potential bandwidth issues. In terms of SpearMC, I know many of you have probably seen these slides, but we are a specialized partner of Oracle. We have numerous specializations in different areas of PeopleSoft. We're an education reseller and also software reseller as well. You'll see we're also SOC 2 Type 2 certified. This is actually something was a big focus for us a few years ago. It's actually very critical for managed services. It basically says that we have proper internal controls. Our staff is trained in data security and basically ultimately helps mitigate risks related to data and security. Again, that's critical for managed services in keeping our clients' data and technology safe. We're also very proud to be Gartner recognized specifically for managed services. So SpearMC is the only PeopleSoft service provider showing up in their analysis of managed service providers. Okay, this next slide is actually shows SpearMC and how we've really strategically built relationships and aligned our organization with Oracle. You'll see, as you know, Oracle's a multifaceted organization, but we tried to align, again, our team with our clients' interests and those different parts of Oracle that support our clients. So there's a group called Apps Unlimited that's responsible for providing customer support for clients, along with obviously my Oracle support. But they also do licensing. So we support. We're called into clients quite frequently by the Apps Unlimited team, and then we also do demos if a client is interested in a new module. We align with the tech reps at Oracle from a cloud infrastructure and platform technology perspective. And we'll cover cloud infrastructure today. It's a core piece of our managed services offering. From a PeopleSoft product strategy perspective, we have close relationships with all the PeopleSoft product strategy team. This helps us align our roadmap, our services, and help align our clients' roadmaps as well with the direction that product development is taking the applications. And last but not least, CSS and Oracle University we're aligned with from a training perspective, and then also we do provide some services through CSS as well. In terms of our overall services, we're going to be focusing obviously today on managed services, but we have quite a depth and breadth of services across PeopleSoft: consulting, training, Oracle Cloud platform technologies, emerging technologies. We do technology assessments not just with Oracle, but we help clients with selection projects of other technologies as well. Oracle is usually part of those, but we support those selection projects. Chatbots, open search and dashboards, a lot of the key technology pieces that either are delivered with PeopleSoft or integrate with PeopleSoft applications. We also have a list of proprietary products as well that we support. So we have some PTF and automated testing products, grants, and others. This next slide, we're very proud of all the public training classes that we provide. We highly encourage you to visit our website and explore the classes that we offer. Really, they're across the whole breadth of people, tools, and technology and applications. So definitely check out our website, and we encourage you to join those public classes. Okay, we're going to make this an interactive session today. So we've got a number of polling questions. Just wanted to get a feel for everyone on the call and what PeopleSoft pillars and applications are you currently supporting? So we'll give you a brief period of time to respond to this and move on. All right, looks like healthcare is quite popular today, so that's good to know. Okay, thanks for answering that. We'll have several more as we go through the presentation. Okay, this next slide, we wanted to set the context of managed services and really talk about a lot of the challenges that we're seeing our IT counterparts and the business face really across industries. So I'm not going to go through all of these bullets necessarily, but starting from the top, skill shortages is a big one. a number of our clients come to us. A lot of the project work that we do is to bring in, obviously, an extension to the existing staff. But a lot of our managed services projects are being driven by just a lack of PeopleSoft talent. And a lot of our clients are having a hard time filling positions and staffing their teams. Next, cybersecurity threats. Um, you know, Obviously, we're seeing more and more data breaches, ransomware. That's a huge priority for organizations today. Scalability, performance, reliability. So basically, having technology and applications that are always on, always available, and scalable when at critical periods of time, whether it's month-end close, year-end close, or maybe periods of benefits enrollment, where a number of users are going to be hitting the system at the same time. There's compliance and regulatory requirements. A lot of organizations are facing decisions around cloud versus on-premise, both infrastructure and applications. Change management's a big topic in terms of implementing new applications, supporting existing applications, and onboarding new employees and keeping staff up to speed with updates to the applications. Last but not least, vendor management. Most of our clients are managing multiple vendor relationships when it comes to IT and technology. Oracle obviously being one of those, but it becomes a challenge having to manage all of those relationships and technologies as well. Okay, so related to that context, wanted to ask everyone kind of what are the challenges that's unique to your organization? What is the most difficult challenge that you're facing today? So this will be the next polling question. Okay, there we go. Okay, we've got a few responses. All right. Looks like we'll go ahead and close the poll. Looks like staff and skill shortages is the most popular answer, which we're actually not surprised to hear that. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. Another polling question. This is just kind of polling on goals for PeopleSoft and your organization over the next 3 years. So what are your top goals or your top goal if you had to pick your highest priority over the next 3 years? Okay, thank you. Looks like we're split between optimizing your systems and cloud migration. Again, not surprising based on what we're seeing in the market as well. Okay, now we're going to get into the different offerings and how we think about our managed services and the categories that we break them down into. So starting from the bottom, really the foundation of any system is your infrastructure and hosting. So this is, and Joe will talk about this more later on in the presentation, but this is really the core for running your application. So network provisioning, compute, database, and storage. So basically providing that infrastructure that the applications run on. We're flexible in terms of working with infrastructure that our clients bring. It could be Oracle, it could be Microsoft Azure, AWS, or if it's something you would like to get out of and turn over to a partner like SpearMC related to PeopleSoft, it's something we can host and provide for you. So that's really what this offering is. It's optional. Again, we'll work with whatever you provide and whatever your preferences are. We're really agnostic from that perspective. The next level, second level, system administration, we view this as foundational in our managed services offering. System administration, providing PeopleSoft environments, patching, database administration. These are all foundational for any system. It's what we see the most demand for, and it's really the basis of our offering. Typically, we don't have any clients on managed services without this core kind of foundational offering. We are flexible. We work with, we can provide full system administration or work with your existing staff and augment your team. So again, we're generally flexible, but this does tend to be the basis of our offering. On top of that, we have development. So generally PeopleSoft development, modifying interfaces, integrations, enhancing, development, adding reports and analytics. So we'll go into more detail in this, but basically it's the ability to outsource and augment your existing development team. Depending on how vanilla you are or using delivered PeopleSoft, this may be a very small or no need, or it could be a larger need. It just depends on your business requirements and your applications. Last, and really at the top of the triangle, is functional support. So this is obviously what's closest to the end users and delivery, really the most visible part of your support to the business. And this is basically where SpearMC would provide end user support, troubleshooting, process and module expertise. This is another opportunity for us to augment your existing team. Again, we have some clients using this. It's an optional service. We can, it all depends on your internal resources and what you're looking for. So we'll go into these areas in more detail in coming slides. Okay, now we're ready for the next polling question. Which of the following groups of managed services would you most be interested in? Okay, looks like we have some movement. All right, so it looks like it's actually fair. We've got most responses are system administration, one all of the above, and a couple looking for just development and functional support. Interesting. All right, well, thank you. Okay, moving on. So kind of diving deeper into the different areas from a PeopleSoft development standpoint. So, from just a general support perspective and handling tickets, many times it's a matter of tracing and troubleshooting code. It could be a bug with PeopleSoft, a delivered bug, or it could be, bugs or issues with custom code, our development resources are very adept at troubleshooting technical issues. Again, whether it's internal code or delivered code from PeopleSoft. Our development resources are very familiar with new people tools features, so we can help you evaluate those as part of tools updates and help apply those features to your environment where relevant. We also frequently perform retrofit services during PUM image updates and selective adoption. Again, with your customizations, bolt-ons, a lot of that functionality that's internal and unique to your environment needs to be modified and retrofitted to work with the latest code when we're applying image updates. We also frequently perform decustomization services. So that would be taking your existing enhancements or customizations and moving them into the lifecycle management tools through configuration or extensions that make upgrades much more easier from a retrofit perspective. We also provide development for interfaces, integrations, reporting and analytics, and last but not least, logging cases with Oracle. Again, there's other needs too for development, but these are the most common needs that we see. From a functional support perspective, I've covered a few of these bullets already, but big one is assessing and implementing new application features in configuration. So it could just be minor enhancements. It could be part of a get current applying PUM updates, where you're evaluating new features that are relevant for your environment and business. So our consultants will help gather requirements, design a solution, prototype it, configure the application, test and deploy. So pretty much full life cycle support from a functional standpoint. Our consultants are they're generally very close to the modules and processes that are aligned to each of the modules. So they will help align your organization's business processes and requirements to what's delivered in the PeopleSoft applications. Oftentimes we see when we get involved with clients, there will be some cases where we can optimize or enhance the business by better aligning the application to the process. So it could be taking advantage of new features or modifying configuration. So that frequently becomes apparent when we start working with an organization, whether it's through a project or managed services. Our functional consultants will also be a first line of defense for monitoring PeopleSoft batch processes. I know that's a frequent area where issues arise. I mentioned PUM and image updates and selective adoption, so we'll help evaluate new features there. And then last but not least, security design and requirements. So if we're implementing new modules, it frequently will require new security or changes to existing security. So we will help evaluate that as well from a functional standpoint. Okay, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Joe, and Joe's going to talk through some of the other two areas of our managed services offering.
Yeah, so another area is system administration, and I recognize that this is a bit of an eye chart, and I'm not going to read through all these bullet points for you, but I would maybe suggest that you think about this in terms of maybe 4 areas, and maybe the first one would be monitoring. And the goal with adopting a system administration managed service is to really help move you from being in a reactive state to a proactive state. So picking up monitoring is a really integral part of a PeopleSoft managed service, because we can then see what's going on in the environment, and we can hopefully solve problems before they hit your business users. So monitoring would be one. Another one to think about is kind of in that security and compliance area. You see that there are some bullets here around tax updates and authentication, single sign-on, all these sorts of things that you run to your PeopleSoft administrator for. These are good tasks that are repeatable and can be turned into um, a run book that would fit very well in a managed service. Another area to think about is upgrades and updates. So I like to think about updates as being the critical patch updates that Oracle puts out every quarter, and upgrades, I'm thinking more about the image releases and the People Tools upgrades that come out about every year. Well, the image updates are coming out quarterly, and the People Tools update is coming out about annually. And the good thing here is that these projects historically are things that take your team a lot of time to do. And when you do that, you typically are putting your line of business requests on hold so that you can, apply these upgrades, apply these updates. And if you're doing it on a regular basis, it seems like you're spending more time churning on that hamster wheel than you are delivering value to the business. So you can think about these system administration services as another way of freeing up your team to work on higher value tasks. And the last one is really under support and troubleshooting. These are the sorts of things where you run into a process bottleneck, or you find that when a user runs this particular query or at this time of day, uh, every week, this process runs more slowly, and we find that we have to do a restart. Well, why are we doing that restart, and what can we do to make things a little bit better, make things move a little bit faster? All of these sorts of tasks fall into a system administration managed service. And again, the goal is to move from more of a reactive state into a proactive state, where your system administrators are actively watching your system. They're receiving updates as things aren't looking normal, and they're taking action accordingly. So let's move to the next slide, Tom. The next one is around hosting and infrastructure. And we at Spear have a lot of experience with this, and we're really excited about what this can mean for you. Um, Sometimes when you pick up a managed service, you actually want to also pick up a hosting provider. And in that case, we would be helping you move your PeopleSoft estate from wherever it currently resides into the cloud. And that cloud tenancy could be a cloud tenancy that you own, or it could be a cloud tenancy that we own. And a lot of that depends on just how you want to run your business, and the extent to which you want to uh, ultimately own the infrastructure and the responsibility around it. The great thing is that we can build cloud migration into the managed services contract so that it just all happens on the same transaction, and it's not like um, there's this project first and then there's managed services. You can literally move people. We can move you up into a cloud or uh, wherever you need to go, and immediately start providing managed services for you as those environments come online in their new hosted infrastructure. So that kind of covers the first two icons up there. The next one's about infrastructure management. So a thing that's unique about the way that SpearMC provides services is that we are happy to provide managed services wherever you are. We're not going to prescribe to you that you have to be on a certain cloud or on a certain architecture using certain servers and certain operating systems. We're really happy to meet you right where you are. So if that means that you're running SQL Server on Azure, or you're running Oracle database on premise, or you're running on OCI, or wherever you happen to be in between all of those things, we're happy to provide these services for you, and we can even step in and help provide infrastructure management. So when we talk about infrastructure management, now we're leaving the realm of PeopleSoft, and now we're talking about networks and compute and storage and operating systems and operating system configurations and how all of those things work together. And we have system administrators that are able to take on those tasks and manage that for you. And some customers find that that's really useful. And then the last area that I kind of wanted to cover under hosting and infrastructure is disaster recovery. In my experience, talk to a lot of customers that say that they have disaster recovery, and then you ask them if they've tested it recently, and they'll say no. And the challenge with that is that if you haven't recently tested your disaster recovery, or you haven't actually ensured that everything is working the way that it should work, when the time comes that you actually need to do that failover, you'll be really hesitant to pull the trigger because you won't be sure that you can do it. So we have managed services around the aspect of providing disaster recovery. We ensure that you're getting these backups, that they're happening according to the right recovery time and recovery point objectives, and we help ensure by testing that we can really fail over according to that SLA when it's needed, and we do that by performing a test on an annual basis. So those are kind of the hosting and infrastructure services that we can provide. Let's go to the next slide, Tom. So as an Oracle partner, we are really keen on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. It is the best place to run PeopleSoft in our opinion, and there are lots of good reasons to do that. You can see that this slide is basically showing you that there are technical advantages, there are financial advantages, and there are operational advantages. And again, I'm not going to read all of these slides to you other than to say that Oracle has invested heavily over the last several years to ensure that when you run on their stack, where they are controlling everything from the foundational hardware and the network all the way up to the software that you're running, it just creates a better experience. It creates better performance, it creates better efficiencies, it's less expensive, and there's great opportunity for automation when you're in that Oracle ecosystem. Now, I understand that some people may not like that, or they have other ideas, and that's totally fine. And again, we're happy to meet you where you are, but if you're thinking about a cloud move for your PeopleSoft estate, there are lots of good reasons that you should be thinking about Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And the idea of having a hybrid multi-cloud deployment is very common nowadays. In fact, it's more common to have multiple clouds than to be all consolidated on one. And Oracle Cloud fits in nicely to be able to run your Oracle workloads there. Let's go to the next slide, Tom. And as you've kind of been hearing Tom and I talk for the last 40 minutes or so, I hope you're picking up on the idea that we're able to customize managed services to what you need them to be. Yes, we have these ideas and these categories, and and we even have these tasks that we provide, but maybe what you're looking for is a specific task that we didn't mention today, or a category that we didn't mention today. And the beautiful thing about managed services is that really it's about tailoring those services to your business needs. And if there's a way that those needs can be accommodated, we are going to accommodate them. So you can think about this as being your menu to what you need to do. Maybe you really need a DBA, but you have a great PS admin. Okay, well, we can offer you DBA services a la carte. Maybe it's that you're really great with, most of the financial modules that you run, but you're really struggling when it comes to grants. Well, we can provide you a managed service around um, functional grants help, and that's the beauty of our offering, is that we can offer you this retainer-based subscription service to the types of skills that you need as you need them. And similarly to being able to tailor those service offerings, we can tailor the resource allocation. Um, so the the thing that's hard about PeopleSoft today is that it is harder to find resources, and thankfully we at SpearMC have some of the very best in the business, if not the best in the business. And we can give you a fraction of a resource. So instead of having to go out and find that rock star and pay them an FTE salary, we can offer you that rock star at a great price, and at a fraction of an FTE, so that you're only really paying for what you use. Same thing with service availability. Um, some customers have a need for 24/7 support round the clock. Someone has to be on call. Someone has to be able to um, answer your call. And other customers, it's more of a business hours thing. Of course, we provide updates and we do maintenance after hours. But when we talk about service availability, we're really talking about, if you log a ticket, what is that response going to be like for that ticket, and what is the service level agreement that comes along with that. So service level agreements and service availability are absolutely things that can be tuned. Um, and as I kind of led off with the first slide when we were talking about PS admin, monitoring and responses. So not every PeopleSoft system is the same. You all have different tolerances and different areas that are, um, shall we say, more touchy than others, or more sensitive than others. And so monitoring isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. Monitoring is customizable and customized to your needs. Certainly, we come in with scripts and we know basically the things that we want to monitor and the things that we should monitor, but there's always room for tuning that and ensuring that it is aligned to your business and your needs. So I hope you can come away from today's presentation thinking that it's not just about what we've put on the slides, but it's really about becoming your partner and embedding our team with yours to deliver the value that you need when, where, and how you need it. And you can continue from here, Tom.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Yeah, the flexibility Joe just covered is really kind of a big differentiator for SpearMC. As he mentioned, we'll meet you where you're at and what your business needs are. This slide really just covers, kind of what our organization structure could look like. Again, this would be tailored based on the services that you're looking for and the needs that you have or that you contract us with. But typically we would have an account executive that would kind of handle really the whole transaction and kind of put together the whole offering with your leadership team. Once the offering and the contracts are in place, an account manager would be assigned, and they would be really your day-to-day manager of the services, making sure the service levels are being met, the business outcomes are being achieved, and kind of managing the Spear resources and ensuring we have good integration with your organization. Then kind of across the top, we have, the client's tier one, tier two support help desk. We integrate to that based on the services that we're providing, whether it's technical services where we may have a system administrator, a database analyst, infrastructure. It could be one resource performing multiple functions, or it could be multiple resources. It just depends on how we've scaled it. From a functional support perspective, same thing. We may have one or multiple functional resources based on the needs, the pillars you've implemented, and the specific application needs and services that you're looking for. And then last is development. So we offer, a variety of developers, depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for someone more senior, to kind of handle more complex coding, maybe fluid, maybe to provide some skills you don't currently have in your staff, that could be more of a senior developer, or it could be a staff developer or an offshore resource, depending on kind of what you're looking for from a cost and skill set level. This next slide really kind of speaks to the continuum of services and what it looks like to engage SpearMC, really from the initial onboarding stage through providing managed services and evolving the services. I'm not necessarily going to go through all of this, but we start with kind of an initiation phase where we would go through a discovery process of understanding all the different aspects of your environment, getting set up with security, understanding your operations, understanding where there may be gaps, either in the team, the solution, the platform, basically understand the whole environment and the context that we're going to be working in. Once we get through that initial discovery period, then we'll go into more of integrating our operations, our team with your team, setting up a cadence, whether that be handling tickets that are coming in through your help desk, managing the infrastructure, conducting some of the system administration tasks. We will basically put together plans and finalize how we're going to operate our team with your team. And of course, that would depend on what services we're providing. Then we move into really more just delivery and support. So that's the more day-to-day, providing services, hopefully achieving the business outcomes that you're looking for, or simply just applying patches, fixes, all the day-to-day needs that you currently have. And then we're constantly evolving our services. So, that could be, getting you current, doing project work, or developing a roadmap and planning out, additional work that needs to it's maybe part of your roadmap that needs to be delivered along with the managed services. This next slide talks to our service desk application, Jira. We provide this. We are flexible, but in terms of how we integrate with your existing service desk and your ticketing systems, But Jira is our standard. It's something we provide. Most of our clients, are happy that we do provide this. It's how we centralize our support. As Joe mentioned, one of the benefits of hiring SpearMC and this offering is you're not hiring necessarily a full-time resource. So Jira is important because it gives us a standard that our resources can work across, because they're, you know, in some cases they may be dedicated, but if they're not dedicated, they're working across potentially multiple clients, and it gives them a single source, single application, that they can manage tickets and work under. It helps us prioritize work. It is a knowledge base that our consultants can use, not just for a specific client, but it's a knowledge base that we can search across all of our other clients. Kind of like Oracle support. If you have common issues, we can use that as as a tool to help resolve maybe existing issues or similar issues. Okay, that's about it in terms of kind of the overview of the offering. With that in mind, we wanted to kind of revisit some of the challenges that we mentioned up front in setting the context. So if we go through these, from a skill shortages perspective, and we touched on this previously, but great thing about managed services is it's a great way to augment your current team. We provide the right resource with the right skills at the right time. It's hard. A lot of our clients are supporting so many different modules and applications that having a staff that's can be an expert in any one area is difficult. So again, this allows us to scale and provide that depth and breadth. As Joe mentioned, we provide proactive patching and a tested DR strategy. So having a DR strategy is one thing, but being able to execute on that is something entirely different. Scalability, we mentioned, our sysadmins are seasoned and typically taking proactive measures before the business is impacted. From a performance and reliability perspective, we provide automated monitoring and alerting, again, to get ahead of impacts before they happen. And I'm going to go ahead and skip through some of these others just in the interest of time, but pretty much each of these points we're able to provide. Managed services will provide another layer for you to address some of these challenges. Okay, that brings us to the next polling question. What is the primary reason your organization might consider managed services? All right, looks like we've got a few more responses coming in. All right. Yeah, based on the answers, it's kind of spread across. Oh, we got another. Yeah, it's largely just demand for support and resources. Looks like that's the most common response. Okay, one more, actually a couple more polling questions. How important is service flexibility in choosing a managed services partner? Is the next question. And again, that's something we've found to be critical and really a big part of our upfront discussion with clients is that flexibility. Interesting. And so that is very important, was uh, all the answers that came in. So yeah, it's really consistent with what we've seen. Okay, I think that's it for the polling questions. We just wanted to cover a few differentiators from SpearMC and really what we bring to the table. We mentioned this previously about aligning with Oracle, but our ability to kind of think strategically and align a roadmap for PeopleSoft that's specific to our clients is really a big differentiator. Um, you know, PeopleSoft is most of what we do, so it's something we're able to do fairly easily. We know the applications, we know the business processes. We really live and breathe this on a day-to-day basis. So we generally apply a structured approach to resolving issues, proposing solutions. And then last is kind of again, the depth and breadth of services that we provide. So we're usually thinking about, all aspects of the system, whether it's people, process, or technology. This next slide is just an example roadmap that we would build for you. Typically we're looking at what is your business cycles, when can we fit projects in, and where do we have enhancements, where do we have, normal routine patching. A big part of building the roadmap is, you know, finding a good sequence of events to fit patching with the business cycles and enhancements and projects. So, and with constant changing priorities with the business, the roadmap is never a one-time event. It's something we're constantly revisiting month to month, quarter to quarter. Last but not least, we've mentioned this before, but training is a big part of our offering. Specifically, the All Access Learning Pass. We do offer a complimentary subscription for all of our managed services clients. So that gives you access to people tools and all the pillar learning content that we have. So that's something we throw in with managed services. But in addition to that, all of our other training offerings are available as always. Our consultants that are working with you on your environment are always available to provide demos and help evaluate new technology and features. All right, we are getting to the end of our time. I've actually got quite a few slides covering kind of a case study, so I'll need to run through these fairly quickly. So Harkins Builders was a client where we did really a full service implementation, and that included managed services. So I'm not going to have time to cover all of these slides, but this client is in the construction management industry. They were unique because they were being supported by Remini Street. They weren't on Oracle support. They were on 8.9. They had quite a jump to make it to the latest PeopleSoft version. They made kind of the strategic decision, based on their technology selection process, because they looked at cloud applications as well, but they made the decision to reinvest in PeopleSoft. They actually had to rebuy and expand their licensing on the HCM side. So we implemented new modules within HCM, included recruiting, benefits administration, and e-benefits, e-performance and e-compensation. On the finance side, we supplemented their existing modules with expenses, and they had an imaging application that had to be replaced and integrated with PeopleSoft, and they went with Kofax. They had a number of third-party applications that they were supporting, in their legacy platform and environment. We were able to eliminate all of those third-party applications with a single platform approach to PeopleSoft. They also migrated to OCI. They went kind of two different paths with HCM and financials. With HCM, they were on Remini Street support. As I mentioned, they had a lot of customizations, and since we were expanding their footprint in HCM, we chose to re-implement all of HCM directly on OCI. So with the re-implementation approach, we are able to quickly spin up new 9.2 environments with the latest PUM image using Oracle database, and we basically converted their data directly from their 8.9 environment, reconfigured all the applications, including the new applications as well. On the finance side, they were on 8.9. They had a more limited scope of modules, but they had a lot of transaction history that was important to them. So we actually went the path of migrating their financials environment onto OCI. It was a two-step process. We moved them on 8.9 onto OCI. That was about a 3-month project. Then we also did a database conversion from SQL Server to Oracle. That was about another 3-month project. And then we did the upgrade from 8.9 to 9.2, latest tools version, latest PUM image. So we kind of had all aspects in this implementation. And OCI was really critical to implementing, those upgrades and the new modules. We were able to reduce their total cost of ownership by removing and decustomizing. We went through kind of a very structured approach to this and inventorying, their existing enhancements and customizations, and then applying the tools during the re-implementation and upgrade of financials. This slide just covers a sampling of some of the lifecycle management tools that we were able to use and apply during this project. Next slide covers some of the key scope items and financials. And I know we're kind of at the end of our time, so I'm going to go ahead and skip through some of these slides. We have an example of the imaging in OCR solution, HCM, recruiting, employee self-service. We had quite an extensive list there. We implemented fluid time entry and modified the small form factor, benefits enrollment in life events. All of that was done in PeopleSoft. We had a pretty large scope of manager self-service. And then we implemented fluid performance management just within the last year via selective adoption. This last slide covers the benefits that were realized. And that brings us to the end of our presentation. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining. I know we didn't have a whole lot of time for questions. Hopefully you can drop those in the chat. We'll definitely follow up with you afterwards. Again, we really appreciate your interaction and answering the polling questions. Very interesting. And have a great afternoon. Thanks again for your time. And by the way, this session is being recorded and all the attendees will receive a email link to the recording. Thanks again. Bye, everyone.